Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. Now today I want to talk about Venus and the condition that she is in throughout the summer and the early fall. So on June 5th, she moved into the sign of Leo. Now Venus represents those things that we love, whether it's physical possessions or whether it is people. What we value is also important for that energy of that planet Venus. What we value, how we love, the things we love, the things that make us feel great, the things that make us feel beautiful. Because Venus is, we know who Venus is. Most of us know our Greek mythology, at least enough to know who Venus is. And so with the energy of Venus in the sign of Leo, usually she only spends a few weeks in this sign. This year she spends 4 months, so from June 5th all the way through till October 8th. So what's that? That's 4 months. So June, July, August, September, October. That's 4 months she'll be in the sign of Leo. Now for a brief period, let me get my dates here. On July 19th to July 31st, she does move into the sign of Virgo, but only to the 0 degree of Virgo, and then she goes retrograde. Let me give you the details of all of this in a few brief minutes. So Venus in Leo will help us to become more passionate about the things that we value, more passionate about the things that we love. Really get our creative juices flowing, because that Leo energy is all about being creative and being passionate. So when it comes to the items and the physical things that we love, we will become much more passionate about them. All right. Now we can also, it represents value. So our values might shift a little bit. So if we wouldn't spend money on something, we might spend money on something over this 4-month period that we wouldn't have previously, just because Venus in Leo, and with it in a retrograde motion starting on July 24th, we might reconsider spending money on something that we wouldn't traditionally do. For ourselves, it's different for everybody, whatever it is for us. Or we're going to be able to reignite an old passion that we had for something that we're very creative, or something that we're creative for, and we want to make it and turn it into money. We want to take it out of the hobby phase and maybe turn it into more of an income phase. This is Venus. This is Venus. A lot of people talk about Venus as just the love relationships, and I'll get to that in the second piece. But just the second half of this, so you can listen on. But to begin with, I really wanted to focus on that piece, that Venus energy of the possessions, the physicalness, how we make our money using our skills and talents. That's Venus when she's in her Taurus essence. And in the sign of Leo, that's going to ignite more passion in how we use our skills and talents to earn money, so we can either buy the things that we love or create the things that we love. When that planet is retrograde from July 24th all the way through September 6th, we have an opportunity to reevaluate what we value. We have an opportunity to reignite an old passion when it comes to some type of creative endeavor that's important for us, and even maybe a way to make some money. We might be able to go over our finances, our daily living finances, and be able to see exactly what it is that might be working well or what isn't working well. We're going to be able to fine-tune some of that, or at least spend those few weeks from July 24th to September 6th while she's retrograde. We're going to be able to spend that time in the material world redefining what it is that we value. Period. Let's move on to what Venus represents when she's in love. So Venus is the zodiac sign of the planet that rules the sign of Libra, and Libra is all about love relationships. Relationships are key to human interaction and to human learning. When Venus is in Leo, a person can become very, very passionate, especially in the beginning of a relationship. Whenever we have Venus in the sign of Leo, there is a lot of very hot, steamy relationships begin. We might see it out in the news, a lot of new passionate relationships beginning. in the news, Hollywood, people who get attention, that's Leo. Now, with Venus retrograde from the 24th of July to the 6th of September, that's a period when it's not necessarily a good idea for a commitment in regards to a relationship, which means getting married. If you arrange to have a marriage at that period in time, don't be devastated, don't be overly concerned. The retrograde of Venus in regards to relationships represents an opportunity to work on some things that are very karmic. And lots of times when people are getting married and they're in those love relationships, there's some old karma and just some old work that has to be things that have to be worked through, or a karmic commitment to each other. That can mean very long-term relationships, because you've gone through some trials and tribulations with yourselves as a couple, together with each other, and all of these things make it so that that relationship has a very karmic feel to it. And when you have a karmic relationship, that's also considered a soulmate relationship. So if you're actually in a soulmate relationship and you feel that you are, then the retrograde of Venus in that time period from July to September is an opportunity to really work through a lot of things. Now, when we come out on the other side of that, from September 6th all the way until Venus moves into Virgo on October 8th, so we have a whole month when Venus is finally direct again in the sign of Leo. There could be abundant opportunities here for you to really define what that relationship is about. So if you choose to get married during the retrograde of Venus, know that there is some karma related to the relationship. And even if you don't get married during that time period, if you're hooking up with people or just meeting somebody or having a casual relationship or whatever it may be, this is a great and a big opportunity period to work on old karma with somebody about something. Not every relationship is a long-term relationship, and that's perfectly fine. But we get to define and understand what our past relationships were about during a period when Venus is retrograde. So these are opportunity periods for all of us. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave you with that. And blessed be. Namaste.